Somewhere in here, lost in the jungle, is an ancient temple. The Tomb Raider Temple. Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. It is the afternoon now. Last night I did a little bit of temple work and I've been working on it all morning. It's making good progress. Last night I cast all the blocks for the side entrance. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces there. And today I made the molds for the 6 pieces that go on this side. And I've cast another roof piece. So I've got my roof pieces on here. And then I'll be building it up with another piece like that, which will seal the roof up. So that'll be exciting to get that done. After that, I'm going to have to work on a lot of details. They usually have some kind of artwork on here. One of the sprites or something, an imprinted 3D artwork. Maybe even on here something. Lots of details to go. I'm going to let these pieces dry for a few more hours, take them out of the molds, and then I'll have some more plasticine to continue work. I've got to cast some more roof pieces and then some detail pieces. In the plant room today, I have a nice hibiscus flower out in bloom. Absolutely beautiful. My yellow hibiscus over there. The bloom is starting to fade, but it's still there, nice and colorful. And I have lots more hibiscus blooms on the way. Over the winter, I'll be working on all my tropical trees that are indoors, pruning them up, cleaning them up, getting them ready for the next growing season. So there's lots of work ahead, and it should be a lot of fun too. I've been thinking a lot about what trees to put on this temple. The temples in Cambodia, the main trees, the big thick ones you see growing on the temples, are kapok trees, Ceiba pentandra. I have one kapok tree. Here is my kapok tree. You can see how tall it is. The leaves grow in a cluster like this. And they're the tallest tree in the rainforest. They develop a big buttress root system. They're not very suitable for bonsai. I mean, you can grow them tall, cut them off, and they resprout branches, but they don't get intricate branches like a ficus or anything, which might be okay. I've thought about using these. It's a tough decision to make. The other trees that you see on these Cambodian temples are ficus, generally Ficus benjamina. You see them growing sometimes over top of these kapok trees. So you'll see the trunk of the kapok, and then you'll see all these, they'll grow like a strangler fig in the branches of the kapok, and all the roots will kind of reach down around the trunk. So there's 2 possibilities for trees. I could put ficus here or kapok, but again, I don't think the kapok are very suitable. I think I'd just be fighting, keeping the miniature all the time, and they'd never look very convincing. The texture of the trunks would be good. It would match perfectly with the kapok trees on the real full-size temples. The other tree is the Schefflera. If you see the leaves of the Schefflera, they're very similar to the kapok. They have that, cluster of leaves. So yeah, it would be a good species to put on top of the temple. The leaves don't stay that small on these Scheffleras. They get fairly large, so it wouldn't be totally convincing, but they'd be pretty good. You could leaf prune them, manage the growth on them, and you get fairly small leaves. And most of the temple trees, these kapoks, they grow pretty tall. They're always cutting them back because if they get too tall, the winds come up and they can tip over and they can actually break the temples apart. So they generally prune them. They prune them when they get too tall, cut them off shorter, and then they resprout, and so on. So, yeah, the Schefflera is another possibility. And I can mix species on it too. I don't have to have just one type of tree on the temple. I could have several. Tiger bark ficus. Ficus is another one that would look good on here. Ficus microcarpa. The two little leaf Ficus benjamina would look good. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. So I have to think about it. The Natal ficus is certainly one of the better ficus to use. Small leaves, good aerial roots, fine branching. Cold tolerant. That's another thing about the Capox. They don't like anything below about 12 degrees Celsius or, 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything below that and they just die like very quickly. So yeah, they're not a very cold tolerant tree. I thought about, the willow leaf ficus too is another possibility. Fine, small leaves. Gray trunks, they would look quite good. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. Even something like this Ming Aurelia here would look pretty cool. But, I don't know how suitable they are either. They would be all right. My Ficus microcarpa gets nice small leaves with, good bonsai techniques. Tiger bark's good. Here's a Natal ficus. And you can see these leaves, they kind of grow almost like a cluster, like the Capoc. So that's one reason I'm leaning towards these, is they do kind of look like a Capoc tree, or they could be styled to look like them. Down here, I have the pot that I'm probably going to plant the temple in. It's a clay pot. It's the right size. So I brought that in. I'm hoping I can try it out with the temple today. Lifting the temple up for the first time, putting it in the pot. I may have to space it up from the bottom of the pot so it raises it a bit. Maybe putting some wood blocks under it or something like that, or a piece of plywood or something, just to raise it up to the right height in the pot so it's not sitting down on the bottom of the pot. So it'll be interesting setting that up, and I'm hoping to do that today once I get all this cement work done. I have the heater on the lowest setting, and it's plenty warm in the plant room here. In fact, it's quite warm in here. So I think all this, sealing up of the room is really working well. I haven't noticed any condensation yet, which is really good, because it's very humid in the plant room at the moment. And I haven't noticed any condensation in the plastic at all. And normally I would notice it. So that's a good sign so far. The roof system, the ventilation system in the roof is working. I'm going to head outside now and have a look and see how the greenhouse is doing. It's quite a nice day out today. There's a light snow. The sun comes out every now and then. Let's head in the greenhouse and see what temperature it is. Oh, it feels nice in here. And it is. It's about 16 degrees Celsius, which is, I'm going to guess about 62 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll have to check and see how accurate I was. Yeah, so these are all the trees in here. Like, the whole benches are full of trees. And these are all the trees I have to fit in the house, plus some of the ones down here. So, yeah, I've got to make room. Or get rid of some of the trees. I do have some duplicates that I could give away. I've got some jades. I have too many jades. I've got my thick trunk one here. So I might as well give away some of my smaller ones. What else? It's not too much else. I have one planting here with a hibiscus, Hawaiian hibiscus, and a baobab. I've got doubles of those. There's not too much else. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I've got firethorn cuttings in here, but everything else can be given away. I've got doubles of this hibiscus. I could give one of those away. I've got doubles of this Mingorelia. One of those could go. Yeah, here's my other hibiscus here. This is the taller one. So I'd keep this one, give away the others. Yeah, there's not too many other duplicates. And I do want to keep all my succulents. I like those. It's nice developing those into, succulent bonsai. Over here is my silk floss trees. These are another ceiba, the kind that grow in rainforests. These are the ones that get the big spikes on the trunks. Really, really cool. Again, they're not very suitable for bonsai. I mean, you can grow a great root system. You cut them off, they grow again. You cut them off, they grow again. They don't get a lot of branches. And even when you get a branch like here, if you don't really manage the vigor of both branches, one will take off and the other will die away. So it always wants kind of a single trunk line. And they grow tall, like this is right up to the roof of the greenhouse. So yeah, they're not a very good tree for bonsai, but they can be made into a bonsai. I've seen some really large ones that look good. It's nice in here. The sun's coming out. You can see how low the sun is on the horizon here now. Let me just show you that. Like, it's the afternoon now, and the sun is just barely above the fence here. The bench here is in the shade. This one's in the sun. Let's go have a look at some of the trees with snow on them. So here's my birthday pine, the Scots pine. Looks pretty cool with snow on it. The larch forest here, quite a snow load on it. Wow, that looks cool. Here's my little bird's nest spruce. Looks like a Dr. Seuss tree. My Austrian pine back here. My cathedral style cedar. There's my juniper, which is tipped over. Oh dear. Better get that upright. There's the cedar forest I had in the Toronto show. Just has a light dusting of snow. The Douglas firs here. Oh, cool. Here's my bog forest, my northern bog forest. Wow. My Scots pine, root over rock here. It's looking nice. The canopy looks really good there. The Avatar Grove. Wow, quite a canopy of snow on that one. Here's my Scots pine in Shanny's pot. Quite a snow load on that one too. The elm forest here. It's lost all its leaves. It's going to be really fun working on this, rearranging the trees. I think with the greenhouse, because it doesn't go below freezing, I can work on these trees all through the winter, like my hardy trees, repotting them, keeping them from freezing, and I think they'll do just fine. So I can really spread out that repotting season this year. It's so beautiful out here, but I've got to get back inside. I have a presentation to put together for tomorrow night's meeting. I've got to mix up some bonsai soil because I'm doing a repotting demonstration. So I've got to have soil on hand, pick out pots, my tree, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be working on a tree for the temple planting. So I don't know how far I'll get. I may not actually plant it on the temple, but I might prepare it for planting on the temple. I don't know. We'll see. It all depends on what the root system is like on the trees that I bring. I can see a layer of snow on the plant room roof, which is a good sign that it's not melting away rapidly. It means the roof is insulated quite well. The trees downstairs are doing quite well. It's not all that cold down here yet. It stays fairly warm in the basement here until it gets really cold outside, and then the temperature kind of drops in the basement. But for most of the year, it stays quite pleasant down here. Certainly above freezing at all times, that's for sure. It is much later in the evening now. It's dark outside. I think my pieces have dried enough here that I can take them out of the molds and assemble them to the temple. All right, let's start with this one. So I'll try and crack the pieces off the side here carefully. So there I go. There's my pieces for the side of the temple here. Now, here comes my roof piece. I only had enough plasticine to cast one roof piece. This will be tricky. I hope it doesn't break, because this is you can see the cement isn't really that white in color. It's still pretty soft. But I've got to get this on tonight and then make more molds for tomorrow morning. And that's it. Then I have to go to Toronto. That's all the work I can do in the temple. Hasn't broken so far. Okay, it's come out. Oh, look at that. Nice. Perfect casting. I'll take away all my rubble here. I'll be making lots of ruins all around this in the eventual planting. So it'll look very rundown looking. But that'll be coming in the future. So now I've got to rotate the temple so I can get access to this side of it. So here I go. Move these out of the way. Okay, so here's the side I'm going to build up. I also need to just clean up the pieces. You can see there's a bit of flashing from the mold there. So I just kind of gently round the edges. So it looks more like a stone block. Okay, here I go. Block number 1. All right, I'm going to clean up this area now. With the paintbrush. Okay, I think that's cleaned up very well. There may be a few more little details to clean up in the end, but I think that's basically got that section complete as I can. I have to get more of these roof pieces cast before I can finish it off. I'm going to rotate the temple now back to the front. I still haven't picked it up, so I don't know how heavy it is. I know it's heavy, but I'm hoping it's not too bad. Guess I'll find out eventually. Here's a look at the temple now. I've been working away making molds for the roof pieces. So I've got 5 molds ready for pouring of my roof piece, and that'll complete these roofs. I need 3 sections here and 2 over here. So that'll complete the kind of rounded roof. So I'll get those poured, let them dry overnight, and assemble them in the morning. Piece number 5 poured. So I'll let that set a bit, then I'll scrape them flush at the top. Make sure they're all nice and level. It's quite late at night now, so I think that is it for tonight. I got my remaining roof pieces cast. They're drying. I was going to lift the temple up and place it in the pot tonight, but I'm thinking, because I've just cemented all those pieces and I did a little cement work up top and I'm not sure where else, I don't want to pick it up and have pieces fall off. So I'm going to wait until tomorrow. I know it's kind of last second, but I'm going to lift it tomorrow. And I'm going to put it in the pot, try it out, see what it looks like. It'll be interesting. I have no idea what pot would suit this planting. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. If worst comes to worst, I can always make a custom cement pot. That would be interesting too. But I think a clay pot will look good. So yeah, that is it for tonight. I'm very, very happy with the progress of the temple. I just hope it's strong enough to pick up and move around. And it's not too heavy. I guess I'll find out tomorrow. There will be lots more temple work coming up. I've still got a lot of detailing to do in the temple. I'm going to plan out where I put the trees. Maybe even plant some, I'm not sure yet. But that's coming up. So that's it for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.